If you are an underdog in football, shorten the game is a strategy. If you are a favorite, allow that to happen as a mistake. I saw this tweet, or X, whatever you want to call it, from the founder of Snapback Sports, Jack Settleman. You see it right here on your screen. Make sure to give Jack a follow. They make great content at Snapback Sports. I saw the tweet, X, whatever you want to say. It says, if you were an underdog, shorten the game. And if you are a favorite, more possessions, right? And that could not be more true. That single idea explains more upsets in college football than motivation, toughness, or coaching nerves. And it mirrors how casinos actually work. In today's video, we're going to go over how being an underdog is comparable to being an avid gambler. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be like, how can you connect that? But follow the video, watch the video, and I'm going to explain that right here. Casinos don't win because they're unbeatable. You and your guys go to Reno, a weekend away from the wife and kids, you have a great time, you're gambling, right? You're playing some blackjack, let's say you're up $400, right? The first shoe, you're up 400, you're on a heater, as they say. And over time, it goes down. You're up 200 the next shoe. Oh, now you're even in shoe 4. Shoe 6, you're losing money now. So, you look at that, and casinos, they're not unbeatable. You could win money if you get in and get out, but they win because probability has time to assert itself. They have an edge. They're not playing a losing game. You might win, but you never had the edge. Give enough hands, spins, or bets, the edge always shows up. And football can operate in the same way. Usually the better team has an edge in talent, depth, execution. But that edge only becomes decisive when the game has enough possessions. That's why you see teams like Navy, Army, who don't have the edge because they have those strict military requirements. They play with smaller players, but they're more disciplined than everyone else, and they control the time of possession. They run slow, methodical drives, and they try and limit possessions to keep the game within reach. That is how it works. Underdogs understand that, and that's why they try and shorten the games. That's why Navy and Army did it, and that's why you see teams do it. For example, UCF versus BYU this season. I think it was the last game of the regular season. BYU and UCF played. UCF actually started out 14-0 on a playoff hopeful BYU team, right? And then UCF was up 14-0. They did not try and slow the game down. They did not try and limit possessions. They kept playing with the more possessions. And guess what? BYU was able to come back quick and end up blowing UCF out. So you look at that, and the underdogs should play like that. Most underdogs do play like that. They run the ball, they drain the play clock, and they limit total possessions. It's not a belief thing or a confidence thing. It's about variance. Fewer possessions increase randomness, and randomness favors the weaker team. The underdog isn't trying to prove they're better. They're trying to survive. When the strategy works, it doesn't look lucky. Look at Alabama versus Vanderbilt. Look at Vanderbilt and what they were able to do to Alabama. Look at Florida State and what they were able to do to Alabama to open the season. Vanderbilt against Alabama is the example we'll talk about the most. So 42 total minutes of possession. They were able to limit time, and they were able to remove opportunities from Alabama. Fewer drives meant fewer chances for Alabama's talent gap to show up, and they didn't need explosive plays or dominance. They needed the game to stay small, and it did, and it led to a victory. Their biggest win, the worst SEC team at the time, Vanderbilt, needed that win. They needed that win, and guess what? They were able to pull off a miracle, or at least you guys think it was a miracle. That's textbook underdog of football. Favorites, on the other hand, should avoid that. For example, we have a perfect team to talk about, right? As a favorite, you want more possessions because more possessions means there's more chance for your talent, your depth, and execution to show up. It reduces luck, and volume exposes edges. This is why elite teams push the pace. They push their boot on the neck. They end the job. They put the knife to the throat, they put the gun to the head, they finish the game. And that's what elite teams are supposed to do. But guess what? The longer the game goes, it is harder for randomness to survive. And guess what? We're wearing the perfect example right here. The Miami Hurricanes this season losing a game to SMU, which it felt like they dominated. They outgained them. They controlled the time of possession. But guess what, guys? They did it to themselves. The favorite ignored this principle, and they shortened the game on themselves. They had too many penalties, and their talent advantage ended up getting wiped out because these long possessions and long tempo, and they limited their operations for their opportunities for separation, and it cost them. It allowed this to remain a tight game into the fourth quarter, where at the end of the game, it's only one play. It's only one play that matters. One ball getting tipped, something getting caught, something getting dropped can change the outcome for these teams. And for Miami, it was Carson Beck throwing an interception in the end zone. That ended up costing Miami, and SMU was able to win the game That is how it happens. That is how you lose one single moment if you allow these underdogs to hang around with these favorites. In gambling terms, this is a sample size problem. Miami played with a positive edge, but limited the number of trials. In short term, luck can overpower skill. A tip pass or a single bounce can decide the outcome, but over time, advantage wins. That is why casinos want more hands, and that's why favorites should want more possessions. When underdogs win, we often describe it as heart, belief, or destiny. We feel like it's a scene from Rocky or The Miracle on Ice, and we feel like all this was meant to happen. But that is not why most upsets are miracles. They are shorting games. That is what they are. They aren't miracles. They're shorting games, where the variance never had time to disappear. The favorite didn't lose because they were worse. They lost because they didn't let probability do their job. Underdogs shorten games to survive. Favorites must resist the temptation to do the same, because football, like a casino, patience, volume, and edge. It rewards that. The house only wins if it lets the game last long enough. These underdogs, they don't want to win the game 10 out of 10 times. They don't care to win it 5 out of 10 times. They care to win it 1 out of 10 times. And that one time being the day of the game. That is it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's how underdog football works, and that's how we see successful underdogs. And it can all be tied into casino and gambling with the edges. I tied it all in, guys. There we go. And that is how we do it. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Help the boy out. Help us hit 5K. We're trying to afford some car payments, so that'd be much appreciated. Help the guy out. That'd be much appreciated. I know I say it a lot, but I really do appreciate you guys, and I really do love you guys. And I hope we tune into the next video, because I'm super excited for it. So make sure to comment what you guys want to see next. Make sure to like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. It's your boy, A Salmon out. Peace.